Good evening. Welcome to the Massillon City Council meeting for Monday, March 3rd, 2025. We have in attendance with us tonight the following city officials.
Mayor Jamie Slutes. Here. Safety Service Director Renee Baker. Here. Chief Counsel Earl Wise Jr.
Here.
City Engineer Alex Pitts.
Here.
Director of Development Ted Hernkane.
Here.
And Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides-Boron.
Here.
Is there anyone from administration I missed? That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 5 on tonight's agenda is where the public can speak on any item that appears on tonight's agenda. And then under number 17 is where the public can speak on any item that does not appear on the agenda as well. I want to remind everyone this evening with a cell phone at this time to please turn it down or set it to vibrate. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Brian Huth. Here. Creamer.
Present.
Cunningham.
Present.
Gregg.
Here.
Howard Smith.
Here.
Markham.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Packley. And Ray.
Here.
Roll call of 8 present.
Councilman Gregg.
Thank you, President Slater. I make a motion that we excuse Councilman Packley from tonight's meeting.
Second by Councilman Ray. Roll call, please.
Creamer.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Gregg.
Yes.
Howard Smith.
Yes.
Markham.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Ray.
Yes.
And Brian Huth.
Yes.
8 yes to excuse Councilman Packley.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight's invocation, as well as the Pledge of Allegiance, is by Councilwoman Holly Bryant Hoot.
Thank you. Please join me in the Our Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4, reading of the journal. Madam Clerk, are the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing?
Yes, they are.
Are there any additions or corrections to be made?
No, there are not.
If not, then the minutes stand approved as written. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Item number 5, remarks of delegations and citizens to matters on the agenda this evening. This is the part of the agenda where the community may speak on a topic that appears on tonight's agenda. If you would like to speak on something on the agenda this evening, please come forward, state your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Anyone at this time? Seeing none, we move forward. Item number 6, new and miscellaneous business. Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. President Slater. I just wanted to give a shout out to both our boys and our girls basketball teams. They went very far and very well this year. Unfortunately, they ended in the tournament, but I just want to give them a shout out. Thank you.
Go Tigers. Item number 7, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 7-2025.
And I apologize for these next 4 ordinances. It reflects that we're amending ordinance number 103-2025, and it's a typo, and it should be ordinance 103-2024. Ordinance number 7 is an ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024 pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I Building Codes of Part 13 Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you. First reading.
Ordinance number 7-2024 has received its first reading. Ordinance number 8-2024. 25, I apologize.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024 pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I, Building Codes of Part 13, Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, President Slater. First reading.
Ordinance number 8-2025 has received its first reading. Ordinance number 9-2025.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024 pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I, Building Codes of Part 13, Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, President Slater. First reading.
Ordinance number 9-2025 has received its first reading. Ordinance number 10-2025.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024 pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I, Building Codes of Part 13, Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, President Slater. First reading.
Ordinance number 10-2025 has received its first reading. Ordinance number 11-2025.
An ordinance amending Section 2D Occupation List of Class Titles of Ordinance Number 139-2017 to increase the class grade pay schedule for the golf course banquet chef facility manager within the 920 Golf Course Department from 16S UN to 18S UN and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gregg.
Thank you, President Slater. This is piece of the legislation came up under the Parks and Recreation Committee during our work session past Monday. It's been moved to the Rules and Courts Committee. That's how we've handled occupational class title changes in the past. Any questions or concerns? I do plan to move this forward if there are none. Seeing none, I make a motion that we waive the rules requiring 3 readings and move ordinance number 11-2025 forward for a vote.
I get a second? Councilman Markham. Roll call for suspension, please.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 11-2025 has passed. Ordinance number 12-2025.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to advertise for and receive sealed bids and to enter into contract with the lowest and best bidder upon the approval of the Board of Control for the 2025 street resurfacing project and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Kramer.
Thank you, Mr. President. As stated, this ordinance is authorizing the Director of Public Safety to advertise and receive bids. This is for the 2025 street resurfacing project contract. We did get a list of those 2024 street resurfacing. Those streets that will be completed, that were in the 2024 program, completed in 2025. And then we also did receive the 2025 street resurfacing program streets. It does have emergency language, so I would like to move it forward unless there's any questions or concerns regarding this. Okay, well, seeing none, I'd like to waive the rules requiring 3 readings for ordinance number 12-2025 and bring forward for a vote.
May I get a second, please? Councilwoman Cunningham. Thank you. Roll call for suspension, please.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Harwick Smith.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 12-2025 has passed. Ordinance number 13-2025.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1201 Street Construction M&R Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2025.
Councilman Lewis?
Yes, this is a transfer of $100,000 to help with the street repaving program of this year using our carryover. I was going to say something during committees, but I can say it right now. It's equally as relevant. I just want to say that when I was speaking to the mayor and the budget director about this in the past, our carryover that we've pulled from the 1201, this is not the 1100, this is the 1201, so it's only for our streets and whatnot related to the levy. We've done a little bit more of a robust transfer of funds, and this year it's a little bit lighter. And that's why, as the newspaper reported last week, you see, what is about 1.2 million this year. In the past, we were closer to 2 million in streets. The reasoning for that is there's a couple of reasonings. The carryover this year didn't seem to be as rich as it has in previous years. Part of that reason, we did have some projects at the end of last year that we did not receive POs on until January, so it had encumbered some of our dollars, so it was made it a little bit more challenging to do proper projections and estimations of where the money would actually land so that we could make a fair evaluation of what we had available to us for 2025 projects. On top of that, we are still in the process of evaluating the equipment within the streets department. Our streets levy doesn't only pave roads, but also make sure that things such as the hot box that carries the asphalt around to fill potholes, the trucks and equipment that do the alleyways and other smaller projects that we don't have to contract, all that equipment also has to be maintained and sometimes repaired or replaced. So currently, we are evaluating all those before we can make a fair assessment of just how much of that carryover we can commit to actual repaving. So I would anticipate that at some point of this year, we may be able to free up some more dollars to look at some other projects. We just don't know what that would look like quite yet. So I don't want anybody to think that 2025 is going to be an ultra-light year. I do think that there's some promise that there might be some other opportunity. Right now, though, we're just only comfortable with the $100,000 until we get a better assessment. So with that said, if there's no other questions, I would want to move forward tonight.
Councilman Gregg?
The 2024 POs you mentioned, have those been resolved, or those are still?
Yes, I mean, if you look at our cash balance sheet, you do see it's something like about 2.5 million or something like that. So you started off at about 3.9 million that we started this year off with, and there's about 2.5 million of net expenses year to date. That would cover a lot of those POs. And that's why we're only at about a 1.3 right now. So if we had came in and said, hey, let's do 1 million, that'll put our carryover only at 300,000. You get a couple pieces of equipment or something go down, all of a sudden you find yourself in a very precarious situation on that carryover. And our budget director, rightfully so, just wasn't comfortable making that call quite yet. There's also some other details, such as, January 31st fell on a Friday instead of a Wednesday, and if you know anything about tax reporting guidelines and making projections, something as small as that does impact that when companies are reporting what to project. So we're just waiting for some more numbers to come in.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Councilman Lewis?
With that, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 13-2025 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
and Markham.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 13-2025 has passed. Ordinance number 14-2025.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Law of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into a one-year agreement with the Village of Hills and Dales, Ohio, for the purpose of providing prosecutorial services and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis?
Yeah, this is a pretty standard agreement that we do with all the surrounding communities that require prosecutorial services. They use our law department. They do pay for those services that our law department renders. And this one is for the Hills and Dales, Village of Hills and Dales. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, to make a motion, we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 14-2025 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension, please.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Ray.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Brian Huth.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 14-2025 has passed. Resolution number 5-2025.
A resolution commending Mark Lombardi as a member of Massillon City Council of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilman Gregg?
Thank you, President Slater. As is our custom, we would like to recognize Councilman Mark Lombardi for his service to the city, and that's what this resolution does. So I make a motion that we waive the rules requiring 3 readings and move resolutions number 5, 2025 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Lewis. Roll call, please, for suspension.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith. Yes. Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
8 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
8 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 5-2025 has passed. Item number 8, unfinished business.
I have nothing.
Thank you. Item number 9, petitions and general communications.
I have nothing.
Item number 10, bills, accounts, and claims.
Yes, we have a bill in the amount of $157 payable to Bonnie's Engravers Gallery for nameplates and our rubber stamp. We also have a bill in the amount of $58.35 payable to Visual Edge IT, our overage charge from November 24, 24 to February 23, 25, for a total of $215.35.
Councilman Lewis,
Make a motion to pay the bills?
second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
8 yes to pay the bills.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The clerk will pay the bills and charge them to the proper accounts. Item number 11, reports from city officials.
Yes, I emailed out the mayor's report for January 2025.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Item number 12, reports of committees. Our next work session will be Monday, March 10th, 2025 at 6:30 PM. Item number 13, resolutions and requests of council members. Number 14, call of the calendar. Item number 15, third reading ordinances and resolutions. Item number 16, second reading ordinances and resolutions. Item number 17, remarks of delegations of citizens to matters not on the agenda. Is there anyone present at this time that would like to speak on a topic which did not appear on the agenda? If so, please come forward, state your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Anyone present at this time like to speak? Seeing none, we move forward. Item number 18, Councilwoman Bryant Huth,
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
second by Councilwoman Creamer. Roll call, please.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth, Yes. Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Harwick Smith.
Yes.
8 yes to be adjourned.